Hey everyone, Doc here. Are you ready to have some more fun? Now here's a fun fact about me. I love to discover new things. So I've done some special investigative reporting and I've discovered some things about Don, Daisy, and our leader, Stacy. First of all, did you know that Don's favorite color is chartreuse? That's right, chartreuse. I didn't even know that was a color. Come on, really? And Daisy, guess what her favorite kind of pizza is? You'll never guess. It's peach. Yeah, she's a sweetie. And our fearless leader, Stacy, what do you think her favorite kind of animal is? Yeah, that's right. It's a dolphin. Not really a figuring it, no walking around fur kind of animal. It's a slick, slimy, fast-moving underwater critter. When we take a closer look at something, it's amazing how many things we can learn. Like I thought it was kind of interesting. We learned some new things about our friends Don and Daisy and our fearless leader, Stacy. And the same thing is true as we get to know God. That's right, when we take a closer look at the things He made, we learn about how awesome and powerful and creative He is. And when we learn more and more about Him, we learn that we can trust Him more and more. In just a minute, we're going to talk about another way that we can focus on God. But before we do that, I want to see how well you can focus by playing a game we call the Super Cup Shuffle. That's right. Now, you may have been to a baseball game. They play this little game up on the Jumbotron. They put up 3 caps and 1 ball, and they move them around, and you got to figure it out which cap the ball's under. Well, that's called the Cap Shuffle. But this is the Super Cup Shuffle, and it is so much bigger and so much better. Now, you may have noticed in front of me here on the table, there are 8, count them, 8 cups. And under each cup, there is a ball. See? Look at that. Except for one that has no ball. Now, your job is to concentrate and remember which cup the ball is not under. We're going to play some music and then we're going to move all these cups around. So you need to focus and remember which cup the ball is not under. Are you ready? Let me get some friends in here to help. All right, let's do this. Ready? 3, 2, 1, shuffle! Okay, that's it. Wow, amazing. So, now, let's put numbers on all the cups. 3, 2, 1. Okay, really quickly now, you've got to decide which cup does not have a ball under it. You ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! Cup number 8. If you had cup number 8, I want you to send your name and the cup number to the phone number listed at the bottom of the screen. Then, you can pick up a prize at the prize table at Friday's final finale. And tell Don you love him. Well, let's keep things rolling with another super cool Bible story. But first, you know what we got to do. Everybody stand up. Come on, get on up here. We're going to start with 3 jumping jacks, okay? Here we go. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3. Oh, good job. Good job. Now, we're going to shake every part of your body for 3 seconds. Count of 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, good job. Good job. Now 3 deep breaths. You know how to do it. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Here we go. In, out. In, out. In, out. Good job. Good job. Everybody sit down. Get yourself situated because it's time for another story. So here's Kellen!
All right, so if I knock down the kitchen wall right there, then Oh yeah, then that leads to the bedroom. And then, and that way I don't have to get out of the bed to go to the fridge. Oh, hey everyone. So I got a set of blueprints right here. Blueprints are basically a drawing of a building before it's built, or maybe like the instructions to your Legos. They help tell the builder how to build something so that the building makes sense. Now, if you're sitting in a building right now, it was designed by someone who drew up a plan. Then they gave that plan to a builder so that they knew exactly how to build the building so that it would be the right size and that it would be safe to go in and out of, and have enough bathrooms. Really? Pretty much any building you go into had a lot of thought go into it before it was built, and it had a blueprint. Well, except for that fort I built when I was 5, definitely didn't have blueprints. Yeah, that one had no thought going into it. But our Bible story today comes from the book of Matthew, and it talks about building our lives on a solid footing. Now, let's say you can't see these plans very well here. What if it was out of focus? It would be pretty hard to see how to put together the building. That's kind of what our Bible story talks about today. It comes from the book of Matthew, and it's something that Jesus said. He said, "So then, everyone who hears my words and puts them into practice is like a wise man. He builds his house on the rock. The rain comes down, the water rises, the winds blow and beat against that house, but it does not fall. It is built on the rock. But everyone who hears my words and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man. He builds his house on the sand. The rain comes down, the water rises, the winds blow and beat against that house, and it falls with a loud crash." So I have 2 model houses here. The first one my friends and I are gonna build on a pile of sand. All right, here goes nothing. Woo, all right. This sand is making it really difficult. And it's impossible to get this thing level. Okay, well, it's standing at least, but let's try to build it on rock and see how it turns out. Now, that is a house. Alrighty, now it's time for the storm. Not bad, not bad at all. And now for this guy. Well, there you go. Yeah, it's pretty clear which house we'd want in the storm. Jesus told his disciples that whoever puts his words into practice is like the wise man. Now, what does that mean for us today, 2,000 years later? Jesus isn't exactly standing right in front of us to tell us what to do. But here's a couple of things that I think are pretty exciting. We have the Bible, and in the Bible, there are these 4 books right at the beginning of the New Testament that we call the Gospels. And the Gospels were written by people that either knew Jesus or by people that talked to people that hung out with Jesus. And they wrote down some incredible things that Jesus said. So even though we can't see Jesus, we can see his words and we can put them into practice. Your Bible is a book full of wisdom and stories that shows us a better way to live. And most importantly, the Bible points to Jesus. If we believe in Jesus, God will give us his very spirit to live inside of us. Crazy, right? And God's Holy Spirit inside of us can help us make wise choices and can help us selflessly love the world like Jesus did. And so, in some ways, the Gospels and the words of Jesus are like these blueprints. Right here. The Gospels can help you focus on who Jesus is, and the stories of Jesus can give you some really great ideas on how to love the world around you. how to love your brother or sister, how to be kind to your friends, or even how to love someone that others look down on. That's pretty incredible. That 2,000 years after Jesus walked on the earth, we can still read his word. And even though he's not standing right in front of us, we can hear from God. I'll see you again soon, and we'll keep taking a closer look. I have some houses to get wet.
So what do you think? Do you want to be wise or do you want to be foolish? I want to be wise. I want to be able to stand through any storm. And I want to know how to focus on what's important. But to be honest with you, I'm not too sure that I'm very good at figuring out what those things are. But you know, the amazing thing about what Jesus told his friends, you and I, is that we don't have to pretend that we know everything that we need to know. All we need to know is where to put our focus. You see, when we focus on Jesus, listen to what he says, and put his words into practice, then we're building a firm foundation for our lives. We need to take a closer look at what Jesus said. In order to do that, we need to take a closer look at this book, which isn't really a book. In fact, it's, 66 different books all put together. I mean, there's books about history, there's books about poetry, there's books that are just stories, there are books that are letters to other people, but they're all put together to tell God's one big story. Now, in the Bible, that's what this book's called, the Bible. In the Bible, we can read the actual words that Jesus said. We can hear his words. And then we can go out and put his words into practice. Remember, you can hear from God. So let's focus on God by taking some time to read the Bible. Now, maybe that's on an app, or on your tablet, or maybe in a book like this. But don't wait for somebody else to do it for you. Take a closer look for yourself. Think about this for a second. How do you know what God wants you to do? You ever thought about that before? Have you ever talked to anybody about that? Maybe your mom or your dad? Well, maybe you know what your mom and your dad want you to do. Or maybe you know what other people say that God wants you to do. But have you ever looked into it for yourself? Before we go, I want you to get out your thinking glasses again and get out your focus books. All right? You got them? Put on your glasses and open your book up to the page where it says, You Can Hear from God. It should be about the 5th page in there, okay? Right behind where you were yesterday. You got that page? I want you to write down this question. It's up on the screen. How do you know what God wants you to do? How do you know what God wants you to do? Write that on the top of your page. And then think about it. Talk to the friends your friends in the room and answer that question for yourself. And put your answer down there on that blank page, whether it's something you write or a picture you draw or a poem or whatever. But answer that question for yourself. This has been great. We've learned a lot of things and we've had a good time together. I'm so excited to see you again tomorrow.